All right, hello. It's August, and I have a challenge for you. It's the Mike Catherwood Soul Boner Challenge. This challenge, it doesn't have anything to do with exercise. It doesn't have anything to do with weight loss or muscle gain or anything like that. No, I wanted to do something that helped us get back in touch with our humanity. I started to realize all the things that bring me despondency, that make me feel flat, listless. They were all things that pulled me farther away from who I naturally was. They took me away from the human being, from the animal of Mike Catherwood. And I'm not a mental health professional, but I did kind of collect and aggregate these things that I use to help me feel better about myself and get myself back in connection with who I really am on an animal level. I take my soul, which is feeling limp, I give it some Viagra, some soul Viagra, then I have soul boner and I'm ready to rock. And that's what this challenge is all about. So you're going to have 7 daily tasks. Every single day in August, you will have 7 daily tasks. And they're all things that you can definitely do. I wanted to include like a certain amount of sleep or meditation. And I started to think of different ways why that wouldn't be attainable no matter how much effort you put into it, because those are kind of subjective. And also, there's a lot of other factors with things like sleep. You could try and do everything you possibly can to get solid 8 hours of sleep every night, but something could come up. And I didn't want there to be any kind of ambiguity. I didn't want there to be any outside factors getting in the way of you doing this. Just applying yourself and checking off those boxes, okay? I really want you to do this with me. I will be doing it, I promise you. So come along with me. It's the Soul Boner Challenge. Let's go. Number one. The number one thing you got to check off every single day in August for the Soul Boner Challenge, write down 3 things that you're grateful for when you wake up in the morning. I do this. It sounds hippy-dippy. It sounds very, very kind of trite. Just pay attention to gratitude, bro. Makes you feel better. But it does. The Stoics have long talked about it, whether it be Seneca, whether it be Marcus Aurelius, but everyone has things. We can all agree that there are going to be a lot of negative things that bring us down. That is inevitable. But don't let that obscure your view of the many things that you have to be very happy about. And I want you to write them down. I don't want it to just live kind of in the ethos. Nothing abstract. I want you to get a journal. It doesn't have to be something pretty and decorative that you get at some shop that has birds painted on the wall on the outside. No. I went to Dollar Tree, got myself a regular little notebook. Every morning I wake up, and it doesn't have to be exotic. Sometimes I write down, I'm just happy I woke up this morning. I'm happy I'm on Earth. I'm grateful that I was born on Earth because I saw Mars rover footage, and I was like, Mars sucks so much. So I'm happy. I'm grateful I was born on Earth. I'm grateful to be an American. I'm grateful that my wife and my daughter are healthy. I'm grateful I have my hair at 43. But there's so many things. If you really take the time to actually think about it, coming up with 3 things, again, you don't have to push yourself to find something that's super important. You obviously can. If a loved one pulls through, survives cancer, put that on the list. My point being is that sometimes you will be pressed to think of something, but you just look around you and make sure that you recognize all that you have to be grateful for. I'm grateful for this sunrise right now. It's really nice. I'm grateful that I have breakfast and that when I'm hungry, I can go get food. That's not a lot of people in the world can say that if you actually do the math, So 3 things that you have to be grateful for every morning when you wake up. Here's number 2. Conduct 5 minutes of box breathing every day. There's so much conclusive and ample scientific proof to show that box breathing really does change your mood and will get you back in touch with feeling better. It really is on a physiological level. Box breathing is, as the name might lead you to believe, a equal amounts of inhale, pause, inhale, hold, exhale, hold. So and I want you to start with 4 seconds. You can also, you can also download the app, and I will put a link in the show notes to make sure that you have that, to an app called Box Breathing. Last time I checked, it's the one I used. Last time I checked, it was still free. And it gives you a countdown and a nice little sound. And that way you cannot focus on a clock and you cannot focus on a metronome. You could also download a free metronome app and just listen and you hear, so start off with 4 seconds. 4-second inhale, a 4-second hold, a 4-second exhale, and a 4-second hold there before you begin the cycle. Do that for 5 minutes every day. Check it off. It's only 5 minutes of your day, and it will make a profound difference. Again, I highly encourage you to check out the app, Box Breathing. Link will be below. Number 3, and this is a weird one, but I want you to do nothing for 10 minutes. Now, hear me out. I'm not saying be a lazy pile for 10 minutes every day. Just do what I'm saying is don't allow your brain to be distracted in any way. No external stimuli for 10 minutes every day. And it can be broken up. I like to do 5 minutes on my way to somewhere, 5 minutes on my way home. If you have a work commute, this is a perfect time. Now, you can be driving because that doesn't necessarily take any intellectual activity on a conscious level unless you're 16 and you're just learning. Most of us kind of drive with our minds shut off. It's involuntary. Okay, and same goes for walking. You can be out, you can be moving, but don't allow yourself to look at a screen, to listen to something, to be in a conversation. Allow your brain to have its own space because it deserves that. The great thinkers, we always talk about the great thinkers. Before there was kind of the subgenres of human intellect, psychology, sociology, anthropology, they just called them thinkers. And there's a reason, because allowing your brain the chance to think is actually pretty important. And nowadays, with technology being what it is, you have your streaming shows whenever you want them. You have your live sporting event whenever you want it. You have your phone in your hand with Google and with social media. And listen, all of this stuff is awesome. I'm using technology to communicate with you right now. You are letting me stimulate your brain, albeit in a very small fashion, but I'm still going in your eardrums or going in your eyeballs in your eardrums and stimulating you in some way. And that's fine. I'm not saying don't do that. What I am saying is carve out that 10 minutes, just 10 minutes every day to do nothing. Lie there. Let your brain go. Drive with that podcast turned off, that audiobook turned off. Start doing your house chores with nothing there to keep you entertained, and allow your brain to go to places that it normally would have gone about 15 years ago, but now we are just so inundated with a bunch of intellectual distraction. Number 4, 10,000 steps every day. Every single one of you has a smartphone which has a pedometer on it, regardless if you use Apple or if you use Android. Every smartphone has a pedometer on it. There's no excuse to not get 10,000 steps every day. Now, I understand. Some of you work in a sedentary industry, and you got to pay the bills. I'm aware of that. I'm not completely delusional to think that everybody's either A, like fitness obsessed in their own boss, or B, a mail carrier or an RN in an emergency room where your job has you constantly moving. No, I understand. Look, you work in tech, you work in law, you work in finance, or whatever it may be. You could be just sitting there for 8 hours plus a day. I understand that. But if you take the time to break up your work, to make time in the morning, to make time after work, whatever it may be, to get little walks in, it makes a profound difference, not only on your physical health, and there is lots of research to show that, but it makes a big difference on your spiritual, emotional, and mental health. It really, really will. This is scientific stuff that is backed by science, okay? I'm not just pulling this out of my meathead ass. Also, 10-minute walks postprandial, which means immediately after you eat, have been shown to be more effective than diabetes drugs at regulating blood sugar and glucose regulation. So you're getting an incredible bang for your buck. It's a grand slam of your health being taken care of. If you just make that commitment to constantly stay moving, and if you can't walk, I understand. If for some reason you're like, I'm stuck indoors, it's too hot to walk, I can't get to a treadmill if I wanted to do it on there. Learn how to skip rope, ride a bike, whatever it may be. As long as your legs are going up and down and you are not sedentary, you are up and moving. That is what you need to do. That is another thing that has been removed from us. It's been taken from us as the animal of Homo sapien is that we were constantly moving. We're not designed to be sedentary. And it has profound effects on us negatively. A lot of deleterious effects come from just being inert. Okay, so I'm not asking you to go ham and exercise. I'm not asking you to do anything when it comes to actually pushing yourself physically. What I am saying is that 10,000 steps every day is a pretty clear metric that I can design to say you're getting out there and you're not going to be sitting on your ass for long, long periods of time. And if you have to, if you're on a flight, if you're on a long drive, if you're at work, you make concessions and you figure out ways to adapt and get your steps in anyway. Trust me, you will be better off for it. This one's weird, and it's probably geared towards men, young men, but number 5, give up porn. Don't get me wrong. I love porn. I have friends in the adult industry. I pass no judgment on the adult industry. And I'm not saying don't masturbate, because believe you me, I will be jerking off like crazy all through August. What I am saying is try for 31 days to give up porn. Why? Because I do think that when we're doing one of the most human things we can do, engaging in sexual satisfaction, we are now beholden to this incredible external stimulus. Porn nowadays is just too awesome. It's so awesome. The girls are so hot. The guys are so hot. The scenes are so great. The camera work's so awesome. And it's readily available in your hand all the time. All the time. I feel that leads to problems. When we are engaging in sexual gratification, we should have our brains well within ourselves, getting in touch with how we feel and how we think. And don't give up. I don't know what your sexual situation is. Maybe you're a sex addict. Maybe you're not. Maybe you don't have any problems with porn. What I am saying is that for 31 days, it's going to be a good thing if you get back in touch with how you feel internally and start to recognize all those important aspects to sexual gratification. It's not just a matter of like, I blew a load. There we go. Okay, I gotta go. I make myself feel better. Instant gratification. No, it's a pretty beautiful thing. It really is. And I don't want us to be dismissive of it by constantly needing external stimulation when we're engaging in it. Okay, so that's number 5. Number 6. I like this one. Create something every day. Anything. Create something. We're magnificent creatures, us humans. Plenty of creatures in the animal kingdom create things for function. A beaver will build a dam, and a chimpanzee will build a trap, for prey, whatever. But only us humans really create things for sheer observation and joy. So go out and do it. You get home. I'm not asking you to make a symphony or a 5-foot by 6-foot oil painting. What I'm saying is just create something. Write a little tune if you have a guitar or a piano. Draw a picture. Mold something out of Play-Doh if you got kids. You got put Legos together. Create something. I have a sneaking suspicion that come the end of August, if you commit to this, you may start off slow. By the end, you will be pushing yourself. You're like, you know what I am? I'm gonna get some watercolors. I like this. I'm gonna start piecing together that song that song that I love, that I hear all the time, and I go, I could play this. I would like to play this, but it takes too much time. You'll start to commit to those things because it is so incredibly gratifying to create things. And it scratches an itch in our brain that we're not often given the luxury of scratching because we're living in this world that we live in. Put away the screens, whatever. Grab colored pencils, grab a marker, grab a guitar, grab some clay. Look, you get home from work, you're tired, your kids had a hard time getting to bed, and it's 10 p.m. and you're like, fuck, I didn't do anything. Make a paper airplane and throw that fucker. And you're like, boom, I created that, done. At least you know that you're a human being and that you're alive. That you're this sentient, creative kind of entity. Okay? So there you go. That's number 6. Create something. Finally, the 7th and final thing you need to check off the list every single day to be a part of the Soul Boner Challenge. I want you to look in the mirror and tell yourself something positive every night. You start off the morning with gratitude. I want you to end the day by telling yourself something positive. You know why? Because we are all incredible victims of this negative self-talk. We are terrible narrators to our own story. We really are. And I'm saying we very, very, very purposefully, because I'm a part of it, and I'm not trying to be a hypocrite. I do it all the time. I find out ways to limit myself with my own internal dialogue. I find ways to talk down on myself. I find ways to just tell myself that I can't do A, B, and C, and I'm not good enough for A, B, and C. And I'm not smart enough to figure out a way to kind of unlock that whole thing. But what I did think was like, hey, you know what? Every night, why don't you just make it a point to say something positive? When I really, really, really made a concerted effort to get to the heart of my body image issues, I worked with a psychiatrist who specialized in those things. Eating disorders, body image issues, okay? And she had me get in my underwear and go in front of a mirror and just stare at myself and tell myself over and over again these kind of mantras, these positive mantras. And I will tell you, I quickly realized that my negative imaging of myself went far beyond just my body. It was really hard. It was really hard to look at myself in the mirror and recognize that person that I'm seeing as being me. And immediately I just wanted to, it was like this defense mechanism. I wanted to fucking critique it, you know? So just bite the bullet. I don't expect you to get in your underwear. You can if you want. Feel free. Get naked if you want. And selfies if you're naked. I'm just saying, you can give back to me. I'm trying to give to you. What I am saying is, look, get in the mirror. Look that man or that woman, that person in the eyes and say, you really helped your employer, your coworker today when you just sat there and you listened at lunch. And you told her that you sympathize with her, and she feels a lot better. And that was good of you, and you're a good person. You have great hair. Just like in the morning when you're writing down things to be grateful for, don't rack your brain if you're having a hard time. Just think of something. Just be like, huh. You brush and floss every day, and I can tell because you have beautiful teeth. You genuinely enjoy spending time with your loved ones. And you work hard to be agreeable and loving. You spend so much time, probably even subconsciously, saying, "Oh, you're such a piece of shit." Take that moment. Say something positive to yourself. Okay, so I put up the checklist on my socials. I have all the information on my Patreon.com/Mike Catherwood. But again, keep checking my socials at Mike Catherwood on both Twitter and on Instagram to get everything going. And please, let's make it a community. Let's make this something that is communal and talk to each other. Put up their pictures of you writing down your gratitude journal. Put a picture of that doll that you whittled because you created something every day. Take the little 10-second video of you getting your steps in at lunch break, whatever it may be. Because then, I want to repost it. I want to put it up, and I want to see the comments where people are like, hey, I'm liking this. Let's go after it. I'm tired of everything that is fed to you, fed to me, being so negative. All the divisive political and social talk. All the negative self-internal talk that we go through that I already addressed. All the ways that we compare each other to each other and make each other feel like shit. Let's stop. Let's do 7 little things that take up very little time every day for the month of August. And I have a sneaking suspicion we're going to feel a lot better come September. All right? Love you.